Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news. As Nigerians are waiting for the ideal candidate that will flog Ahmed Tinubu come 2027, the People Democratic Party, being a party that has been battered, bruised, and suffering a lot of hemorrhages, are actually looking at picking up what they think, or the candidate they think will solve all the issue of disloyalty towards the party. And GEJ, that's Goodluck Jonathan, seems to be the choicest person. Everything has been done to see how he can return back to the party and how they can use him to change the narrative for Nigerians, especially for those who are seeking to see Bola Ahmed Tinubu hoist out of his position as the president. But then, one of APT's stakeholder and one very firm politician who had been in the business of politicking for quite a while, talking about the person of Shehu Sani, he has taken a position in respect to GEJ returning back, and he has given a political advice to GEJ that in event of him coming back, what he's going to see in People Democratic Party, the party he left some years ago. Let's listen to him. I'll be back to talk more.
President Tinubu promised economic revival, anti-corruption fight, reforms, and 2 years later, his opposition and his critics are saying poverty remains stubbornly high and policy progress is sluggish. And there are talks about the emerging opposition coalition. They're saying the only agenda they have is sending President Bola Tinubu back to Lagos. And we're in fact hearing that former President Goodluck Jonathan there are whispers that he may have his heart and his eyes on the game on 2027. What do you make of what is going on?
Well, first of all, I don't speak for the government, but all I know is that economic reforms program anywhere in the world is not easy. And for any nation that has a vision of the future, sacrifices need to be made. That became the foundation for greatness of nations like South Korea, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore. We have to make sacrifices for the future. And we're in a democracy. It is within the rights and the ambit of our democratic experiment or law or rule to have an opposition that will give an alternative. But if their only cost for power is to remove Tinubu without providing any alternative to governance of his own style, then they have no agenda. And let me be very frank on this. The people that constitute the coalition today are not ideologically and philosophically different from the programs which the Tinubu administration is prosecuting. So it's not like you have a Marxist and a capitalist or a new liberal and a conservative. They all, during their campaign and in their dear lives, you can see those liberal values of devaluation, removal of subsidy, and so many things. So it's like the team A of ruling power and B. Now, in the case of Jonathan, each time there's an election, you see the name of Jonathan coming up, but it is his own volition to try to contest. But I advise him not to do that. The reason for that is very simple. The PDP he used to know is not the same PDP now. The PDP in the Southwest are endorsing the president and some of his members of their party. They are in the coalition. So he is not going to be in the party that he used to know. So he shouldn't waste his time.
Thank you so much, Senator.
Now, welcome back. That was the position of Shehu Sani, a key stakeholder in APC and a Kaduna politician. Interestingly, this same issue of Jonathan coming back as the president of Nigeria has been discussed across board, and one person who talked fervently about it is Farontimi when he was asked the question that if it's necessary for Jonathan to come back. Now, some people think he may be the person to wrestle power from the the All Progressive Congress. And this was the response. He said, 1,000 good luck, Jonathan, cannot solve the problem of Nigeria. If we do not address our structural problems, and if we are incapable of telling ourselves the basic truth that we hold to ourselves, then nothing is going to change. They can recycle all these people as many times as they can. This was the same Goodluck Jonathan who was vilified and labeled. The press went into overdrive. I'll take that again. He said the press went into overdrive in this country. The pulpit and the mosque said Jonathan's removal will solve the problem of Nigeria. But here we are. We are going back into the past to dig up the past. That was how we dug up the one that just expired. I don't believe that our problems are going to be resolved because we change personnel. The problems we have in Nigeria goes beyond people. If you remove Bola Tinubu from office today, if you do not touch that evil system that produces this kind of people who have ruined this country, all this talk about Jonathan is just more distraction from the political winning craft. We are not looking for saviors. It's about building system, building a country. How do you rebrand the failure of 2015 into a saint and a savior in 2025? After 10 years, we've gone full circle and we are back at a situation where we are saying that we are better off than we are in 2015. We should focus on building the system. That was the position that he took. Now, as a political student, I've realized that as the years and days are passing by, Nigerians are reasoning this whole issue of, change in leadership deeper than we expected them to do. And I love the fact that more critical thinkers are coming up and they are laying emphasis on the things that really matter. And I love the fact that Sani has made his position clear on Jonathan, the same with Farontimi. But I think one of the things that we should consider is the issue of that structural change, that issue of systemic change, because unfortunately, we already have a system on ground. And unfortunately, also, Nigerians are used to that system. And that system is a corrupt system that has infiltrated virtually all the organs of government. It has even gone in as a parasite to Nigerians and even to those who are alien, that's those who are ex-parties working with Nigeria. I'm talking about, the corrupt system. If that is not being changed, nothing will work in the country. And how would that change? That would change if we bring in someone who will create a blueprint, a leadership blueprint, and will also take over the position of supervision, both at the subnational level, to look into how some of these things can be corrected. And even if he has just 4 years to do this, it will go an extra mile in curing, the backwardness of Nigeria when it comes to the issue of leadership. As much as we have a lot of things to offer. But it's important we just tell ourselves the truth. The country can't get better with the kind of leaders that we have. There is absolutely no way. And don't blame these leaders, because some of them woke up and they found themselves in this system, and the system kind of pay the greedy guys. It's a system that every greedy person wants to be part of. And for you to be able to change that narrative, it requires the man on the top not to be corrupt. And not just him alone. I think all the heads of the three organs of government, they owe that responsibility. And that's why a lot of people are pointing at the person of Peter Obi. If we can have a Peter Obi at the hem of our fins when it comes to the executive, we have a kind of Peter Obi also at the legislative aspect of the country. We also have judiciary, Peter Obi. I feel that a lot of things will be cured and the system will be re-engineered and reprogrammed to capture what will make our nascent democracy to all of a sudden mature. Because until that happens, Nigerians will still wake up to, that reality of we have to chop, and as much as I chop, you chop. I think the question has balance. But unfortunately, that's not how it should be, because democracy, the principle of democracy, does not support such a system. So I think that the issue of systemic change is very important at a time like this. Let's leave it there. Let's meet our conversation and talk more on this.